Hey, what's up guys? Kool-Aid here, and today I'm going to be doing my final review on Medal of Honor Warfighter multiplayer. Now, I wasn't going to do a review on this game. I went to work yesterday thinking I wasn't going to do a review on this game. Then my boss came up to me and basically said, I'm not buying this game because IGN gave it a 4. Now, I was honestly shocked. I hadn't looked at the reviews. I read on some forums that some of the big review sites weren't giving this game very good reviews. However, I didn't care because I'd played it, I liked it, I enjoyed it, and honestly, of all my friends and all people who I've talked to, everybody's enjoyed it so far. I could care less what the big review site said, but this made me actually want to do a review for the game. This makes me actually want to get more positive reviews out there because there is no way in hell that this game deserves as low a score as a 4. Now, I can't speak for the single player. I have not played that. Will probably never turn this on. I've heard from a few different people that it's okay, it's really short, nothing special. But that's to be expected from pretty much any first-person shooter these days. Nobody really puts that much time into the single player unless it's more of a single-player oriented game, something like Crisis 2 or something like that that really brags up their single player. Other than that, you're mainly buying these games for the multiplayer. So that's why I'm doing the review on the multiplayer, and that's why I couldn't really believe that IGN ripped the multiplayer like they did. So I'm going to give you guys my take on the game, or at least the multiplayer at least. So first off, I'd like to say that this game is not flawless by any means. This game, on PC at least, actually had a pretty poor launch. There was a number of bugs and glitches that made the first couple days a little bit rough, I'm not going to lie. The only one that was completely game-breaking was the one that had you falling through the earth on spawn. Then you would fall, you'd be considered out of bounds, and die. This would happen sometimes 3-4 times in a row before you could actually spawn into a normal spot. This was horrible. I'm not going to lie. I probably died 20 times the first day of launch because of this. However, they did fix this by the second day, and hopefully that's a sign that they're willing to, really take care of this game and fix all the stuff that needs to be fixed. I'm not going to go over all the exact bugs and glitches, but none of them were completely game-breaking. However, it would be nice to see these ironed out sooner rather than later. Aside from the bugs and glitches, there are definitely some other issues that I would like to see taken care of or tweaked. For one, some of the maps don't work well on certain game modes. For instance, Navi Grande, Sector Control, the objective on top of the hill is essentially in your spawn point. Now, that just doesn't work. An objective should not be in a team spawn point, and I don't know if it has more to do with the map design or the spawns not flipping right, but something needs to be tweaked there. Navi Grande is not the only map that this happens on, so something definitely needs to be tweaked there. Another issue I have is with the fire teams. Now, fire teams actually are a pretty innovative design and work well for resupplying and healing. However, they do have some issues with the spawning. One of the main reasons you'd want to spawn on your fire teammate is if he's in a good spot on a map close to an objective. I've had many times where I've been on actual voice chat with a friend playing and he is literally hiding in a corner of a house and I cannot spawn on him. Nobody is shooting at him. Nobody knows he's there, but there's somebody outside the house or below the house in the vicinity, and it will not let me spawn. It will just keep adding 2 seconds over and over. Now, this is the biggest issue I have with this. For the most part, I don't mind if he's in combat. If I have to fall back, that's not a problem. Falling back in this game, the maps are small. You can get right back into the action fairly quick. But when my fire teammate is in a safe position and I want to strategically spawn on him to capture an objective, this game needs to know that I can spawn there. On the flip side of that, I've had times where it says I'm completely safe and I'll spawn in and I'll die instantly because my buddy is in a hail of gunfire. Now, I really don't have a problem with that nearly as much as not being able to spawn in when I want to. I'm used to Battlefield when knowing that if I'm spawning in and there's enemies around, that's a chance I'm willing to take if it's to capture an objective. So I would like to see that tweaked as well. As far as the rest of the fire team system goes, I really like it. I think it works really good. Even the spawns work a lot of the time. It's just a little tweak that I would like to see made. Another little tweak that I think could be made is how you actually pair up with your fire teammate. Now, there is no in-game chance to move around or anything like that. I would like to see that added. Also, when you do join with a party, it sometimes jumbles you around in absolutely no sensible fashion whatsoever. For instance, the other day we joined with 4 people. Now, I can see if it split us up based on team balance. However, it put us all on the same side, and it put who was supposed to be my fire team buddy in a fire team by himself, and it put me in a fire team by herself. We're on the same team, yet it did not pair us up. Really made no sense. It does usually throw you together for the second team or second game, but you shouldn't have to wait a whole game to play with your friends. You know, sometimes you only have time to play a couple games. So if you want to play with your friend, you should be able to do it almost instantly. So now that I've got some of my bigger gripes out of the way, I want to tell you guys what this game offers that actually makes it worth playing. First of all, the gunplay in this game is excellent. It feels really smooth, and it just works really well. The weapons have a good amount of recoil. I would say they actually have more recoil than Battlefield 3, which is good because the maps are smaller, and that recoil in military-style shooters is what kind of helps differentiate stronger players from weaker players, if you can control that recoil at range and all that sort of thing. So the gunplay overall is really, really good in this game. The next thing is the movement. The movement in this game is also really, really good. It feels really smooth. They've actually added in a system where you can sprint to a slide, and I haven't used this a whole lot because I simply forget about it. This has never been in a game that I've played, but it works really well. I've seen a lot of people do it, and when I've done it, the little times that I have done it, it does work really well and feels really cool. They've also added in a peek and lean system. You can peek and lean around corners, and it works really well. Again, I haven't used this a ton because I keep forgetting about it, and I need to really incorporate this into my game, but what little I have used it, it's really cool and works really well. So there's that. The next thing is hit detection. I can honestly say I've not had one issue with hit detection in the game. The only thing I can kind of mention is that the hitboxes with sniper rifles on headshots seem a little big, but that's okay. On these closer quarter maps, sniping one-hit kills to the head are going to be some of the harder shots to take. Compared to using assault rifles or submachine guns, that sort of thing. So I don't mind if the hitboxes are a little big, but for straight up hit detection, I have not had one single issue yet. So that is very good. Those are the 3 main things right there that I say make up the core of a first-person shooter. You need all those 3 things to really be considered, a good multiplayer game, and this game has all 3 of them. The next thing I want to mention is how this game actually plays. It takes a little bit of Battlefield 3, a little bit of Call of Duty, but it takes a whole lot of its own sort of play style. I'm about as run and gun as anybody when it comes to Battlefield 3, and even when I used to play Call of Duty. In this game, on most game modes, I can't do that very successfully. I really have to think about what I'm going to do. I really have to try and use my team and, actually use some strategy and actually play to a tactical style. This game, in many circumstances, offers or proposes some serious challenges. Again, I'll bring up Navi Grand. In a game like Hotspot, when the bomb is on top of the map, it is not easy for the attacking team to get up there and plant if you are playing against a halfway decent team. However, this game does give you the tools to overcome this. You just have to actually use a little wit and actually play with a little bit of tactical style. I love that about this game. The maps actually also play into this. Now, I mentioned a couple of them didn't work well in certain game modes, but for the most parts, the maps work very well in this game. They actually make you sort of play into that tactical game style. If you're on defense, they will force you to cover multiple routes, and if you're on offense, they will give you multiple routes to get in there and flank and do different sort of things, that just all sort of play into that. Not only shooter, but actual have to use your brain and put yourself in a good position. Another thing I love about this game is the class system. All the classes feel really good. A couple of them I would say shine a little bit more on certain game modes, shine a little bit less on other game modes, but for the most part every class is completely usable in every game mode and on every map. and I like this. None of them feel overpowered from one or another, and none of them feel bad. I mean, they all feel pretty good. Overall, I do like the fire teammate system, like I said, and overall, I just think this game offers a lot more good than it does bad. I think right now, if I had to put a number on this game, I would actually give it probably a 7. Now, if they can iron out these bugs, which I have complete faith that they will, it's just probably going to take another patch. And if they can make a few minor tweaks to the spawn system or the maps or the fire team system, I would honestly give this game a solid 8. I think it can be that good a game. It does offer something different than what's out right now, and I can't really believe that all these bigger review sites are shredding it how they are. I think that's just complete BS. And if you watch a lot of the YouTuber reviews, and the YouTubers are the guys who play these games all the time. I'm not talking just about myself, but some of the bigger guys out there are actually really liking this game. So hopefully you didn't listen, or hopefully you didn't get dissuaded by the bigger review sites, and hopefully you guys check this game out. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.